Hey there, good morning, everyone. It is Friday morning, and um, I've already got several things done. I sat down and I edited another Vlogtober video, and I also put in the order for our cabinetry. It's finally done, it's in the system. We are on a 6-week countdown, so that's very exciting, and that includes like the cabinetry for the kitchen, our master bathroom, and both of our kids' bathrooms. The only bathroom that I haven't ordered anything for is the guest bath, and that's because I'm doing something a little bit different there that won't require cabinetry for, the bathroom. So, remember when I shared the tiles that I had received in the mail? Well, I think I have made my decision as far as what tile I'm going to go with. I had several selections and I'm really excited. And I even got on Instagram and, shared a little sneak peek of them and then put a poll up to see which ones everyone liked. And so that was interesting. That was a lot of fun. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad I was able to get some paperwork done last night so that I can kind of start next week with just a little bit more organized. Now that I'm getting close to really designing the inside of the house, I want to be as organized as possible and I want to have all my ducks in a row. Also, I am trying to get a hair appointment. It's been very difficult finding somebody who can do my kind of hair. I found a hair colorist. Not that I've really had any color done in a long time, actually. This is all my natural hair color. That's all me. But I still have some ends, as you can see here, that are kind of light. And it looks fine whenever when you see the gradual flow of the hair, I guess, if you will, to the ends, because it lightens up in the ends and it doesn't look bad. It only looks really weird whenever I have my hair up. The light is close to the dark. So I don't know. I was thinking about getting that addressed later. But that's another lady. I really like the lady that I did find last year that kind of made this a little bit more natural looking. What I do need is somebody who can cut hair and somebody who can cut long hair and somebody who can cut long layers and somebody who can blow dry um somewhat curly wavy hair. I don't think I want to cut off a lot of the length because I've actually been enjoying it being so long, but I do actually like layers around my face and they've kind of all grown out. So, let's see if this person works. I have no idea. It would be really nice to get something done like that just because it's been a long time. Also, I want to go outside because we have somebody here today who's cutting our grass. One of our neighbors, he has a lot of cows and we've bought a cow from him before. Nelson got to talking to him and asked him to see if he would be able to, cut the grass for us in the back area of the property. Obviously we're paying for him for his time, but he's got all the tractors and all the big equipment to get the larger portion of our land. Nelson and our son take care of about, I don't know, maybe 4 acres of the property, but we haven't cut any of the grass on the rest of the acreage. And I mean, we have 19 acres. It's a lot. We can't do it with a small mower, and we just don't have, the funds right now to invest in a tractor, which is what we really need. And eventually we'll get that, but it's just nice that, we were able to talk to our neighbor and he was, able to, help us out with that. So he's there right now in our backyard and I'm going to go check it out because I think it'll be fun to, watch and share with you guys. So I am doing that. And then what else? I also want to clean the bathroom today. That way it's ready for when the kids come tomorrow. And I kind of want to get as much little stuff as possible because now that fall break is over, we only have the weekend before kids go back to school. The weather has been really beautiful out here and it's still projected to stay that way. So I'm hoping that when they get home tomorrow, I have as much housework done and videos edited so that I can truly enjoy the weekend with them. So yeah, that is what's going on today. It's probably going to be another full day, but we'll see what happens and I'll bring you along. All right, so I went ahead and put the shower curtain and the rugs from the bathroom in the laundry so I can come back later and clean the bathroom. I'm so glad I was able to get all of this cleaned up before the kids got back. It's basically how we store their sleeping stuff when they're out, like at school or during the day. They have these sleeper mattresses that it's like a little accordion. And I was even able to wash these because these come like right off, as you can see. And that's all clean. So all of their blankets are clean. I'm so excited that I got that done while they were gone. That way when they come back, we don't have to worry about it and we can do other fun things. So I'm going to go head out, check on the status of the grass cutting, and also see what Nelson's up to in the house. All right, so I am back inside. Obviously, it looks like our neighbor did the bush hogging already, but Nelson said that he was actually going to bale it up and just haul it because he needs some extra hay. It's not the best hay because it's been out there for a while and we never fertilized it because obviously we just don't have the equipment for that. But he's going to go ahead and do that, haul it off, and then I think he's going to come back and fertilize it because he's going to be using that hay next year for his cows, and we're totally fine with that. So he's going to come back, pick up all the quote unquote bad hay and fertilize it and get it like ready for next year so that whenever it's springtime, he can pull the hay up and it grows properly and of good quality. Obviously, we don't know too much about that. We're learning everything as we go. And he's been, nice to have as a reference. We have a couple of neighbors that, kind of let us know, like when we ever have like random questions like that, they kind of like give us a little bit of information and we start learning a little bit about, how to take care of the grass, what's bad grass, what's not good grass, what, you shouldn't feed the cows and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we don't have any cows yet. So eventually, would I like that? Absolutely. But just we're not in that season yet. We have so many other things to worry about. Um, Also, I did want to say that I do think you guys were right about the whole molting thing. I have had a trap with bait and everything outside of the chicken coop, and nothing's been caught yet. So I'm thinking that maybe you guys were right. The chickens were just molting. Now, there was one that had a little bit of an injury, and I'm wondering if one of the other ones is just, picking at it. They seem to be fine, and we're just keeping our eye out. So we borrowed that trap from a neighbor, and I should probably, I think it's probably been enough time, and I don't think we need it anymore. So I got to return that. Now I'm just going to clean this bathroom and get that out of the way. I was on the phone with my parents for a little while and the kids, FaceTiming them. They've been having a good time, going to Chuck E. Cheese, going shopping, having a blast. So I'm very happy to hear back and to talk to them and see how everything is going. My parents haven't had like a baby in their house for the longest time because obviously my youngest was 9, and it was a little different, and it got, they needed a little bit of adjusting to it, but they've been having a blast. The baby has been doing really good. The first night she was pretty cranky and not happy that she was not with me. But the fact that my kids were there and they were able to help, and those were familiar faces to her, like on a, daily basis, that really helped out, and she calmed down the rest of the nights. It was fine, which was my biggest concern. But I'm glad that, everything just kind of calmed itself and they've had a good time with like all the grandkids. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and just go ahead and do this. All right, so the bathroom is cleaned. I'm so glad I got this done because then now the kids can come back this weekend and all that's taken care of. I went ahead, refilled the soap, wiped everything, took out the trash, and I'm even gonna do one more load of laundry that I have to do. That way I can have these as empty as possible. Now I need to go and get the inner curtain, the one that goes on the inside. I gotta get that, and I gotta get all of the rugs to put on the floor because I know they're ready in the dryer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so shower curtain is done, rugs are down, and we are good to get out of here. All right, so I talked to Nelson, and he said that our neighbor who was cutting the hay, he's actually coming back on Monday, so I won't be able to film the hay baling today. And hopefully I can get him while he's actually out there doing it the next time. I didn't think he'd be done so fast cutting it down. So that's set up for Monday. And while I was cleaning the bathroom, the hairdresser that I've been trying to reach to do my hair, she reached back out and we have an appointment for next week. So I'm really excited about it. I told her exactly what I wanted. I told her, I showed her a picture of my hair and everything, and she says she can do it. So I am praying that I find my permanent hairdresser. So I've only had like two ladies in my entire life really be good, like amazing with my hair. You know that feeling, that Pantene Pro V hair in the air bounciness feeling that you get, that just your hair just looks amazing after they touch it? Only had two women. And so I'm really trying to find somebody that would, make me feel the same way again, the minute I get out of the hairdresser. So pray for me that this works out, and it should still be October when I do this. So you should be able to see how that turns out. We'll see. So now what I'm going to do, at the bathroom is done. I got to figure out what I'm going to make for dinner. And I even thought about doing a little DIY craft so I can get ahead on some of my Christmas DIYs. Because honestly, Vlogtober is very easy to film for me because it's just me talking to you, taking you about my day, editing super quick. So this isn't an issue. It's the DIYs because, first of all, I like to do those in a more, sequential and more professional way. I want you guys to really see what I do. I like to share the steps, and I like to be as thorough as I can. And that's always been my style. And, I think a lot of people appreciate that. So that in and of itself takes a little bit longer. Also, it's the voiceovers that I have to do, and I have to make sure that everybody is quiet. And it's usually when everybody is asleep is when I record, and I have to wait till the end of the night, and I have to stay up while everybody else is just sleeping because that honestly is when it's the quietest. And, that's tiring too because my days are really long and I work up until the point where I, take a shower and go to bed. And so by the time I sit down and do voiceovers, that is extremely exhausting. So if I can get some of the DIYing done, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. All right, so I ended up staying at my neighbor's house for a little while, just kind of chatting on their back deck after I had delivered the trap back to them. Because I think you guys are right. I really do think that perhaps the chickens are molting because there are no like predator like footprints anywhere. So when I came back, all I had to do was take the clothes and put them in the dryer, and then anything that I hang up, I just needed to come here in the camper and hang them up. So it's been a pretty productive day. I didn't end up doing the DIYs because I ended up hanging out at my neighbor's house, which was kind of nice to just sit back and relax and just talk to your neighbor, for a change. And so now I have to figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner. Like, what am I going to make? No clue. Haven't planned. Just been kind of enjoying a quiet day, getting stuff done and kind of going at my own pace. I tried to film earlier and tried to get Axel to show his face on camera, but he's a little bit too hyper right now. All right, so we are back home. Nelson and I made the decision that I did not want to cook dinner. So we went down to our local town and we went to this place called the Butter Dish. They have lots of home kind of country food, and today was steak night. It's kind of nice because they have days that have different themes, like Thursdays is like seafood day and Fridays is like steak night. So they always have special for those kinds of foods. And so we went down, we had dinner, and then we brought some dessert and we actually brought some honey. Let me show you. So they had these displays up front with different desserts, and we decided to bring some home. This is a salted caramel cheesecake. And this thing, oh my God, it's so huge. It's like ultimate chocolate cake. So we'll get a bite of those later. And hopefully I won't go into a sugar coma afterwards. And then the last thing that we bought was this wildflower raw unpasteurized honey. We like to have raw honey. And this is local. This is just a town over, basically on the other side of the valley. So it's pretty local to us because it's not that far away. And we get this big old jug for $22, which I think it's pretty decent because I've bought raw honey for more than that. So I'm excited to have this on hand. Last winter, I took 1 teaspoon of raw honey every night with cayenne pepper just sprinkled on top of it, on a spoon. And I would take that religiously every single day over the winter. This spring, my allergies were almost non-existent. So since Nelson cuts the grass and he's a little bit sensitive to the grass around here because we do have a lot of hay, we're on pasture land and everywhere around us is just farmland. I'm hoping that we can do the same thing for his allergies in time for spring, but I'm also going to do it with the kids so that they have less allergies. My 2 younger ones don't, but my oldest daughter, she does get a bit of allergy, so I'm hoping that helps her too. So I want to go ahead and start stocking up on honey, local honey, so that I can do that with them this winter as well. So now Nelson and I have to go to the house real quick. It is pitch dark outside. So he's going to need me to kind of point the flashlight wherever he needs light because he's got some measurements to do. I think we decided on my dad actually coming up with my mom all the way up to where we're at right here instead of meeting them halfway like we did when we dropped them off, because I think my dad is going to help Nelson over the weekend with more wiring in the house. If that's the case, they just stay up here and basically I just kind of prep and clean up the camper for them, and they basically spend most of the day in the cottage or out and about helping out like my dad does. My mom stays inside the cottage, but my dad goes out and helps Nelson on the house, and then at night they just kind of just sleep in the camper because it's hooked up, it's working, it's you know, just because there's clothes everywhere doesn't mean, you know, we can't use it. And I tend to clean it up and tidy it before they get there. So they've done that before and it's worked out great. And they're literally like right outside the cottage. So it's nice to have an option for them to stay the night. That way they don't have to go back same day and make that long trip. So I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow. So I'm going to sign out now because I don't know how long it's going to take for us to do what we got to do at the house. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Until then, adios.